And you are now tuned in to Tea Tender's podcast, TeaBag, with my girl,
Leah.
And we are here to give you that unfiltered, unsweetened tea right from my mouth. Since I can't say what I want to say on Instagram, I have to come on here and talk all this shit that I want to talk. So, glad you're tuned in. Make sure you subscribe.
You better.
Make sure you tune in. Every episode is going to be so juicy. Trust me on that one. So, today's topic, this show's topic, is about the mother and her boyfriend that had their 3 children, mind you, her 3 children, in a house with a decomposing brother.
I hate this story.
What in the world? So, reading the story, here we go. The mother is 35 years old, mind you, and the boyfriend is 30 years old. She has 6 children. People only know about the 4 boys, but she actually has 2 more children, 2 girls. And luckily, they were taken by their grandmothers away from her just in time. One of them literally was just taken in November, right before the killing.
Okay.
So they range in age from 7 to 17. Her 6 kids and multiple absentee.
I did not know she had 6 kids.
Multiple absentee baby fathers. So,
niggas will hit anything.
Listen, so
you better stop.
2 of the kids live with the grandmother. So luckily the girls were safe. For whatever reason, they said when he drank, he got strong and he would abuse her boys. So reading this story, it basically says
his ass.
The grandmother last saw the daughter that she took in November when the girl told her that she got tired of seeing him abuse her siblings and stepped in to try to protect them. Mm-hmm. And Williams put her out. The mother put her out for it. So the grandmother took her right in. So that's the situation that she was dealing with. So she has a 17-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old daughter that both live with their grandparents. Craziness. So anyway, his name is Brian Coulter. He's, like I said, 30 years old. He's younger than her. He's like a little white guy looking like a wannabe with all these tattoos, and he gets this accent from like he's from the South. I watched his videos. He's so corny.
I refuse
to watch it. She was in love. And it says that they just started dating a few years ago. Mm-hmm. He's not the father to any of her children.
Shut up.
Not the father to any 6 of her children, which is the main problem because they don't treat their own like that. And sometimes they do. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so let's say one of the brothers claimed the boyfriend gets strong when he drinks, and that led to him becoming physical with the boys. Last November, Coulter killed Williams' autistic son. He was autistic, and that's being revealed now, too. You know, they have special needs, and you have to have special patience for them. 8-year-old Kendrick Lee, by beating him and stomping him to death.
This is such
I
hate this story.
Yeah, I know. Especially you have 3 boys.
Yes, girl.
This is a crazy
I couldn't imagine.
So after, apparently, one of the brothers witnessed the beating and recalled his brother's eyes turning black.
Oh, my God.
And his body stopped moving as he was getting
That's
beaten.
when you get a knife from the kitchen and stab a nigga. Like, I'm sorry.
He went limp.
Ain't no way.
Girl.
But they kids, they were probably...
Yeah, they were scared too, I'm sure. So after he goes limp, the boyfriend drapes a sheet over his body. Like, this is a crime scene. He knows what he just did. Like, nobody called an ambulance. Nobody called for help. Nobody even mentioned it. And we're talking about November of last year. We're almost in November this year. So a decomposing dead body is in the room with 3 children for the last year with maggots.
Is this a real story? This shit sounds fucking far-fetched.
I had to make sure I had my facts straight. I went and made sure I had to read into this story because it's just so nuts. And of course, everybody's saying she wasn't like that. You know, she was still a okay mother, but she wasn't a horrible mother until meeting this boyfriend. That's the story of how it goes a lot of times in these relationships with these mothers and these children and their boyfriends. And
see, I don't bring my niggas around my kids, ladies. I gotta stop doing that.
I feel like it's an animosity that builds up because they know that's not their child.
Unless I know we gonna be around.
Or that. Mm-hmm. But if that's not their child, there's so many people that are so disrespectful to these children. Like, they don't have kids of their own. I'm not sure. So anyway, the couple moved out of their apartment, girl. Because they didn't want to be...
Wait, they didn't let the kids?
They didn't want to be around the decomposing body. So they moved out of the apartment and got another apartment 15 miles down the street. and was delivering the kids food. And
where are the dads
snacks.
of the kids?
That's what everybody is wondering. I know one of them was locked up. One of them is dead. Like there's a bunch of people who don't really know. So I'm not
all
going to mention
retarded niggas.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the dads because I'm looking at the names of the kids, and it's Lee, and then it's Javari, and it's different names. So that would lead someone to assume that they all have different fathers. But
all 6?
We will see.
Messy.
Very. So
messy
this is unfortunate because also what they were saying is when the police got there to get the body, it was maggots and roaches feeding on the body. Like it was out in the open.
I heard a dead body smells so foul.
Horrible.
So is this story real? Because I heard you can't even be in a room.
I looked into this and it did say a neighbor was smelling it, but it wasn't addressed.
Thank you, girl.
It wasn't addressed. Yeah, that's what I said.
Could be propaganda.
Sometimes things don't seem right, but this story right here definitely isn't right. But yeah, they abandoned those kids in that house. And it even says this dude came back. He was giving them snacks and stuff.
What?
3 weeks later, 3 weeks ago, my apologies, he came back and broke another one of the brothers' jaws. This is 3 weeks ago. So you got one body sitting in the other room from your hands, and now you just busted his jaw.
Girl, can we move
on?
Okay,
shattered his jaw.
This is just
it's hard.
Fucking horrible
but it's
story.
so good that it's coming out because a lot of this happens so much, and they don't put it in, the news. They don't talk about it enough. And you got a lot of women that just still fall in these traps with these aggressive, mean men that don't like their kids. And you can't.
But the women are mentally ill too.
Of course. Mental instability is a real thing, especially in our community. Yes. We don't address it. We don't get counseling. We don't talk about it. We don't say what's wrong. So I'm not making her any excuses at all.
Oh no, we're not. Don't ever think that, guys.
But what we got out of this is you need to seek help. If you have a situation where your kids are being abused because you're being abused or whatever the case is.
But see, where I'm not understanding it is when you have a baby growing inside you, it's a love that you develop.
Right.
So how this bitch didn't be like, nigga, no. That's why I'm like, is this real?
Honestly, honestly, they said that she did try to stop him. And unsuccessfully, obviously. And then afterwards he apologized. So that was sufficient enough. So she probably
deal with a lot of abuse
for her.
Growing up. Okay, I understand.
So he apologized.
I still ain't giving you a pass, bitch.
Apologized for stumping her son to death. Girl. And she forgave him and continued the relationship. So they're living down the street, sending the kids snacks. And the kids are eating from neighbors' houses. And nobody, they fail on so many levels. They were failed on so many levels. The neighbor should have known, I'm not feeding a kid every day. And then I don't see his parents ever or
and I'm going to smell a dead body.
That part too. This
is weird. Like the one story with the girl that got lost, that got choked out by her boyfriend while hiking.
Oh, that Gabby stuff?
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot different though.
It's different, but it's just weird.
These poor babies, girl. It looks like, okay, the 15-year-old, that's the oldest son. That's the one that was taking care of all of the other kids. 15-year-old taking care of his brothers with a decomposing body in the next room. So apparently he was the one that finally texted his mom and was like, I can't take this anymore. I can't live like this anymore. And then I think she was like, no electricity. She wasn't paying the bills. No food, no electricity. They can't even, charge their phones. He was going to a neighbor's house to charge his phone.
How can you have a baby and not care?
Heartbreaking. So that's what he was going through. He finally texted the mom and said, I can't do this anymore. I'm calling 911. Sent her the text. He called 911. Let them know that there's a dead body in the next room with me.
Okay, Biden, you need to do mental health reform because
mental health reform would be
nice.
Mental health reforms would be
Please.
Nice. Add that into the budget. Mm-hmm. It's a very serious thing right now. A lot of mothers, and then everybody's always afterwards, oh, she should have gave the kids to me. Oh, if you cared so much, you should have checked up on them physically. I don't care what somebody says if they're not.
Okay.
If there's somebody that I care about, like my grandmother, somebody's not going to tell me that she's okay for 3 weeks, 3 months.
And then you're not going to check on them.
Yeah, you don't even want to hear their voice and check on them yourself. Like, there's a lot of people that failed these kids, and it's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. But they're going to get charged. Unfortunately, the mother isn't getting charged for murder because she didn't do it, but she was fully responsible for it, if you ask me. looks like the boyfriend's going to get charged with the murder. And of course, the mother is going to get charged with not doing anything to stop the murder.
Please give me the tea on this story. Keep me
updated. I'm going to stay up on top of this one because it's just so sad. It sounds like the boys have already been taken, though. That was her main thing. She didn't want to be arrested and her kids taken away. The ones that she wasn't taking care of. Exactly.
She's slow.
Exactly. So that was her reason for not calling the police and not calling an ambulance to save her own child. And they said when they found him, he was, this is sad. His body was decomposed into a skeleton. His hands, feet eaten by roaches, his hair missing from his scalp.
How could they live like that?
That's
why I keep questioning.
For a year. So, for an entire year. So, anyway, unfortunately, like I said, the 8-year-old son was punched, 7-year-old son was punched so hard in his jaw that it shattered his bones. And it was another incident where they didn't call the police, they didn't call an ambulance to get his face fixed.
And they ain't run away? Ooh,
you know what?
Lord, I would have ran away.
I think sometimes, especially with the kids, you don't know that you have options. You don't know that you can call somebody and get help. You think this is life, and that's what they've known for all their life. They don't know. So the 15-year-old got mature and realized, like, wait, I'm not supposed to have a dead body in the next room. That's like illegal. He probably looked it up all online and checked, like, wait, is this right? Do people die and you just leave them in rooms? Because they're kids, so they don't know. And it says the body was left out in the open, besides a sheet covering it. So, very sad. Shout out to all the single mothers that hold it down for their kids and never let a man come between or in front of their children.
Yes.
And on that note, we out.
Yeah, bitch, I got that tea, that tea, that tea, that tea, that tea, that tea, that tea. Yeah, bitch, I got that tea, that tea, that tea. And that shit ain't authentic, you ain't get that shit from me.